Now, when couples break up, it's usually an emotional time, and when parenting rights are decided in the court, many men feel they lose out, despite doing all they can to see their kids.
I think of them all the time. I have a photo of my son on the mantelpiece. I have my daughter's photos in my wallet.
Bill's battle to be a father to his children began 10 years ago, after his ex-wife suddenly left him, taking them with her.
You wake up one morning and whereas you thought you had a family and a house and all these other things, you suddenly find that they're all gone.
In almost 80% of separations, children spend most of their time with their mother, mainly because many breakups happen when the children are young and reliant on mum's care. If the primary carer won't negotiate, the other parent has no option but to go to court.
The one who's got the kids living with them is the one who kind of wins.
There was so much conflict in Bill's breakup, he had to turn to the legal system in order to see his kids.
The court process is absolutely soul-destroying. The court would make an order. The mother would almost immediately breach the orders.
As the legal battle dragged on, his children became more estranged. Now he doesn't see them at all. His son's even changed his surname.
He has shown no indication of ever wanting to see me again. My daughter I haven't seen for a couple of years. I don't expect to see her again.
Like Bill, almost a third of separated fathers will eventually never see their children.
Court should always be a last resort. It's expensive, it's very time-consuming, and usually it drives parents further apart.
Barry Williams regularly counsels men who've exhausted their resources, both financial and psychological.
A lot of them keep pursuing their rights to see their children. They get into terrible debt and they ended up having to sell their homes or they lose everything they got and they can never pick themselves up again, and that's when despair sets in.
Unfortunately, despite law reforms to encourage shared parenting, it's still a rarity. Only 8% of separated couples manage it. But some couples do manage to overcome their differences for the sake of their kids. Simon Ronchi desperately wanted to have more time with his son after an emotional breakup with his partner 4 years ago.
I couldn't focus on work. I couldn't focus really on much. My thoughts were with him the whole time. Effort had to be put in every day. Communication between each of us or through the other parties that were involved.
He and his ex finally reached an amicable agreement, and Simon now has his son for 6 days a fortnight.
I love being a father. It's the most important thing to me that I'm a part of his life and he's a part of mine.
Well, every time you raise that issue on Talkback, I'll tell you what happens. You get calls from dads who are marginalised, and I think men, in many of these cases, are being treated like second-rate citizens, and the women are getting the advantage from the courts.
But do you think, though, it can't just be what's fair for the parents? It can't always be 50-50. It's got to be what's fair for the kid. You know, I grew up with full-time with my mum and saw my dad as much as I could, but I'm glad I didn't have to go 1 week here, 1 week there, 1 week here, just so that my parents had it fair.
The courts always come down on the side of the women, though, on the side of the mother. Now, I'm not sure how you change that, but it really is causing a lot of heartbreak and grief out there.
Yeah, I've got a friend who I believe is a great guy, and he hadn't seen his child for about 5 years, and it's you'd love if the mothers in this situation could get over whatever.
And the dads still have to write out a cheque each week out of their salary. They're still giving the money.
Though.
Exceptionally complicated, but I suppose the kids are the ones that we've got to be thinking about here. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, the very funny Kitty Flanagan.